Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. This is the Finance Committee meeting. It's 6:32. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and
justice for all.
This meeting is being held remotely in accordance with the Governor of Massachusetts March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law GLC 30A Section 20. And on March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed a supplemental 2023 budget bill allowing remote and hybrid meeting options for public bodies through March 31st, 2025. This meeting is being recorded. Well, hello, everyone. It's been a while since we've seen each other, or it seems like.
It really hasn't been that long, Karen. It's only been
I know.
about 5 weeks.
You're right. It's been a month, which would be the norm, right?
Right.
So, okay. Well, tonight we have a very short agenda. We have some year-end transfers to approve. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone because I'm having audio issues with my computer, so I can't really see easily who's with us. Is Nicole with us tonight?
No, Nicole is at accounting school this
all right.
week. She said
Okay.
that she could not make it.
Okay. So it looks as though we have 3 transfers that were approved by the select board last night. And then there's the 4th one, which is a highway one. And I'm not sure. I don't
Yeah,
see
that got approved as well.
that got approved as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go through. Okay. Because I don't have that one signed off, so I don't know what the status is.
It was on a second page. The email that Nicole sent out today, it's included and it's all signed.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure what I got. Okay. So the first one is a transfer from Employee Benefits Department of $2,000 is the request for the transfer. And it's from health insurance, and the receiving department is the Board of Appeals, going to personnel services and general expenses. And the reasoning is to increase appeals received in the month of May will cause a negative balance in the budget for June. This transfer will cover payroll and expenses incurred for the added appeals.
Make a motion to approve.
I will do a roll call. I actually can't see who's on the call.
Oh, okay.
Cindy, could you do it for me?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely. I'm just going to go in order how I see people online. Not everyone is identified, so if I don't call your name and you're a member, please speak up. So Karen Rouse.
Yes, I.
Hugh Morton.
Hugh Morton, aye.
Buzzy Barron.
Buzzy Barron, aye.
Zach.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Abstain.
Cindy Brown, aye. And there is someone up top here.
Gary.
Who is that?
Gary, aye.
Oh, Gary. Okay. All right. I didn't know that was you, Gary. Okay. So, all right. So now I know that you're there. I think I got everyone.
Great. Okay. We'll move on to the second one, which is the department transferring funds is
Karen,
long-term.
before you continue with that particular thing, I am just going to take exception that next year when the Board of Appeals come in, I mean, I'm a little bit irritated with the Zoning Board of Appeals on this issue because they had come before the Personnel Board for an increase in their clerk's salary, assuring us that they had sufficient funds in their budget to cover that. Now, of course, I understand they had more meetings than they had anticipated for the month of May, and I don't know if that's going to continue into June, but I feel like some of this transfer was not necessarily as urgent as they had indicated it would be, because they asked for a substantial increase in their clerk's pay and they received it, and with the assurance that the current year budget had been taken care of. So I'm just going to put that footnote on it. Next year, when they come up with their budget, I am going to challenge them on this. So
Okay,
that's all I just wanted to say about that.
appreciate that. Yeah, it puts everybody at our backs are on against the wall on this, right? So it's personnel that needs to get paid, so these transfers have to get done. So, nope, appreciate that. Okay, the second one is transferring from the name of the department's long-term debt. The amount requested to be transferred is 115,000. It is the source of funds is long-term debt principal, and the receiving funds is also long-term debt, but it is long-term debt interest. So moving money from principal to interest. The description is the amount budgeted for the new 5 to 12 school. Principal included the interest, so it needs to be transferred, and it was missed when preparing town meeting. So it sounds like when the budgeting was done, more was put into principal, and it should have have been into interest, is what this is saying.
It sounds like a bookkeeping mistake.
Yep.
So I would move to approve.
I'll second that.
Great. Cindy, if you can, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Once again, I'm just going to go by the grid here. So, Karen,
Yes, aye.
you,
Steve Morton, aye.
Gary,
Yes.
Cindy Brown, aye. Buzzy,
Bucky Barron, aye.
Zach,
Aye.
and Lawrence.
Aye.
Super, thank you. All right, the third one is the department transferring funds is the fire department. The amount requested is 25,000. It's going from overtime and personal services line, and it's going to the receiving funds is still the fire department. It's going to request the use of funds as the general expenses, and the description says to cover the negative balance in our fuel and vehicle maintenance lines and to replace the fire hose that was ruined. I can't read that word, by a brush fire.
By a brush
season.
fire, yeah.
Brush fire season.
Right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so
Alright.
any other discussion on that? Okay, I'll go roll call. Karen,
Aye, yes.
you,
Steve Morton, aye.
Gary,
Yes.
Cindy, aye. Buzzy,
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, terrific. So that's the first three. The one and maybe I don't have the most recent one, but the next one is from the highway department.
Right. So I've got a
And-
note. I've got a note here from Nicole that explains it, because I was very irritated when they sent the request, and it was $40,000 with 3-word explanation to replace necessary equipment or replace essential equipment. I mean, really, $40,000 in 3 words. So anyway, I didn't get too many more words, but at least it was a better explanation. Transfer for highway department.
So,
Transfer for highway department. It's essential for equipment that needs to be replaced because it's no longer repairable. It's from personnel services to general expenses in the amount of $40,000. They have extra money in personal services because they're having trouble hiring qualified people. It's basically for mower parts.
Yeah.
For the large mower that they use for the side of the road and whatnot to replace some of the big attachments. And there were some pictures that were I believe I forwarded the pictures and everything on to everyone last week when
Yes,
I
I
got
saw
them.
that. I
Yeah,
saw the
so-
pictures.
Yeah, so that was what it was for. The
Yeah.
quotes for the for the equipment go back to April. So this has been something, I guess, that's needed some repair for a couple of months overall. I understand that they need the equipment. I don't understand their lack of detail in trying to present something like that. But anyway, so I'll make a motion.
Just 1 second today. I spoke with the highway department. This is
Oh,
Gary.
good.
And Chris said that it was for the John Deere tractor. I think it's for the mower decks and stuff like that.
Right.
The problem that they're having is it's getting very hard to buy replacement parts for these things. It's very hard to buy any kind of maintenance equipment that would prolong the life of these. So, and due to inflationary, these prices are even through the roof. So what they would pay for a mower deck, I'll give you an example. We purchased a tractor over in Dartmouth and budgeted $45,000. We can only buy the chassis for $45,000 now. We can't even buy the blower attachment, the mower deck. So everything is, everything's escalated. So
Right.
I think for the highway department, they're just trying to do what they can to get this equipment back functional. But I would seem to think that maybe next year they might need a capital item for maybe another mower or something like that, because the parts just don't exist anymore.
So I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Oh, you okay?
Roll call. Karen,
Yes.
you,
Hugh Morton, aye.
Gary,
Yes.
Cindy Brown, yes. Buzzy,
Aye.
Zach,
No opinion.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, there
Thank
we go.
you. So I think that's all the transfers as
Yep.
of now. There may be more transfers as the year comes to a close. So we'll just wait and see if something comes up and if we have to have another quick meeting or if it will be able to wait till our regular July meeting. So we'll just touch base with Nicole as that happens. Okay,
I think
so
year-end transfers have to be done by a certain date. So
right. So I think it's July 15th.
July
So I
15th.
think
yes,
right. So
yes.
So potentially our first meeting that we have in July, normally that would cover, we'd be okay. Again, depending how emergency it was, or if it was payroll related or something, right?
So now, Karen, I just had a question. The vote for the override is July what?
25. 25.
25th?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep, July 25th.
So, can we just talk about that for a second? I know it's not on the agenda,
Yeah.
but
No, it is on
you
the
look at
agenda,
towns
Gary.
like Fairhaven. Oh, it is?
Yeah, we keep it standing on there. So override update. So absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if everybody's followed the overrides that have been going on in the area. Fairhaven's failed.
Right.
And it was a small amount. It wasn't, it was like, I think $450,000 or $500,000. So I know that we've, everybody's kind of worked hard, but really not promoted this because, essentially we can't promote it. But is there a plan B if this thing fails? I mean, what will we do in the case where this does not go through?
We'll deal with what we have.
Right. Well, I mean, we've got the budget
Right, yeah,
in place.
Yeah, I mean,
There is no plan B. Simple as that. It either goes.
I believe that there is a group that's trying to put together a public forum. I've forgotten what the date is. I want to say maybe it's July 11th or something like that.
Yeah.
That date rings a bell, July 11th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
that
think
they're trying to put
I have
together-
it saved on my calendar.
Yeah, a public meeting so that people can come and ask questions and whatnot. So,
Yeah, July 11th at the new high school.
right.
so if this doesn't go through, then with status quo and the budget stays as is.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the budget that was approved at town meeting would be the budget in effect, so, all of, all of those cuts would need to be implemented, absolutely.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yep, okay.
I know that July 11th is our next scheduled.
Meeting. Oh, right.
Oh, so it's the same date as okay.
Right. So we could just move our night to a different.
Many persons are involved with that. There's some material from her, maybe it's Karen that I've seen, and a good deal of
That's
detail.
why I was asking. I think it's conflicting.
Right, so our regular scheduled meeting would be July 11th. We would just have to be cognizant of if there's more year-end transfers, because we couldn't go beyond, we couldn't move it to the third. If we moved it to the third week, the 18th would be fine, except we may have to have another meeting with year-end transfers. Otherwise, the 11th would have covered it. So I guess we will have to change our date.
All right, we'll just have to wait and see what comes up.
Yeah.
One thing I'd point out, maybe the fire department, in an extra reserve fund, 100,000, one reason being the price of oil, etc. Everybody's done extraordinarily well to live within the budgets for this year, because we're not quite through yet, but we have that one for the town farm, but otherwise hardly any emergency requests.
Right. I mean, the reserve fund is intact. I mean, we haven't touched the reserve fund at all. So, obviously we didn't have any snow this winter, so that didn't impact that. So we still have the reserve fund.
Right,
you
that's
might.
why
You
it would have been nice if Nicole could have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just didn't know from Nicole if there's others coming or if she thinks this is it for the year. So I don't know where she's if we should be anticipating more or not, but
Right.
we can touch base with her separately.
Right.
Yeah.
I would take note also if you go to the town website, the town administrator's actually done a pretty good job of detailing the funds that were appropriated at the town meeting that would be applied if the override goes through. It's very factual in nature. I mean, he doesn't promote it one way or the other, but he does have some good information up there about why those additional funds are necessary and how the money would be spent and what would happen if the money is not appropriated. So it's a pretty well balanced approach, and it's the last time I checked anyway, it's pretty evident as soon as you go to the town website. It's right there in your face to see.
What Cindy? Oh, somebody
said.
Yep.
Does anybody know if we still have any ARPA funds available?
Oh yeah, there's still quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, are they going to start coming up with additional projects for that? Because I know there's a deadline.
Well, the deadline is still a couple of years out. I mean, Karen and I sit on an ARPA committee that meets not as frequently as it used to, but most of that money is now earmarked. What's left, most of it is now earmarked for the Route 6 project. There's some technology earmarks there. There are little projects that come up here and there, but the large bulk of it is being used for infrastructure.
Yeah, because the problem with the county money is the drawdown takes forever. So
Right.
you put a project in now, and then it's going to go through their auditors and everything else, and it takes months before they get approved.
Right.
So, I wouldn't want to see us not be able to put a project through and we run out of time.
Yeah, they've been pretty good about making sure that if there's a county funds that they're trying to apply for, they do that quickly. And so far, I think some of the answers have been coming back in like 3 weeks or so. So it hasn't been too bad. I did not.
I might email Yeah, I might email Nicole just to find out like how much we've already received, like actually received,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm curious.
Yeah, because there's one installment for 2020. We get a second installment coming up of another million or 800,000 coming up from the feds. But that's pretty much earmarked for for Route 6.
Yeah.
Karen,
Okay.
I missed the last ARPA meeting. Were you present at the last one?
No, I haven't been since about a year now because I had
Oh,
to
okay.
bow out. So
Okay, yeah.
no.
So I wasn't at the last one. I don't think there was anything of any significance.
All right.
The town administrator has a pretty detailed spreadsheet as to what cash has been received, what projects have been funded, what's pending with either the feds or with the county regarding approvals. So they've been pretty good and diligent about making sure that things are, that they've dotted all the i's.
Moving along.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think we forwarded that to everyone last month. And I think the town administrator was planning to put it up on the town website, but I'm not sure if it ever got up there or I'm not sure what happened with that. So.
And if you check your email today and just within the last hour, we sent around the final school budget without the overrides. So they have their budget in detail as to how it all breaks down. It's kind of interesting if you look, because they show the columns for 4 years and the amount of increase for fiscal 24 increase over 23. It's kind of interesting to see how some of the reductions were applied and how some of the increases were applied as well in their overall budget.
All right. Anything else on?
I've had my hand up for a while.
Oh, sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. I wasn't looking. Sorry. Go ahead, Lawrence.
No worries. Yeah, well, I had a couple of questions for you, Cindy, talking about the ARPA funds there. Karen's already asked the one question I had, which I asked her earlier this afternoon, about whether Jim had had managed to post that info to the website. Do you happen to know also if and or how much of that ARPA money has, because you mentioned that it's been or mostly earmarked for the Route 6 project. Is that for the water and sewer project on Route 6?
Yeah, pretty much for the engineering study. A lot of that is for the, a couple $1 million doesn't go very far when you're looking at a project like that. So most of it is for engineering studies, but there have been some small projects, funded. So as a matter of fact, the schools received a new van, transportation van from that. Fire department had received some equipment, but then they turned their allocation back when they received a grant for something else. There have been some small projects that have been funded, but technology and the water and sewer study have been the big uses of, or the big earmarks anyway, for those funds.
Right. Thanks.
Would the motion to adjourn be in order?
Second.
Okay,
What are we seconding?
Was that a motion to adjourn?
Sorry.
No, hold on. We've got minutes to approve.
I was asking rather than moving to start with, but.
All right, so we have 2 sets of minutes. We have April 18th, 2023.
Move to approve. Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Okay, Karen.
Yes.
You.
Morton, aye.
Gary.
Yes.
Cindy, aye. Buzzy.
Yes.
Zach.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Okay, that's done.
Terrific. We have minutes of April 25th, 2023 to approve.
Oh, we couldn't do that. I thought we were doing them at the same time.
Sorry.
They're sneaky, Karen. Karen.
Yes.
Oh, I guess we didn't technically have a motion to approve. Okay, so I'll move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Okay. All right, Karen, aye, right?
Aye.
You,
Aye.
Gary,
Yes.
Cindy, aye. Buzzy,
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Okay, that one's done.
Terrific. Okay, so before we do a motion to adjourn, our next meeting in July is our annual reorganization where we look at chair, vice chair. We look at our committees that we're on and all of that to disperse ourselves. We will have 2 new members coming on. So we will have a committee of 9 again, which will be great. And we should go over all our committee lists and so we can distribute everything evenly as best we can. So I'll forward out to everyone what we currently have, so then we can bring the 2 new members on and disperse things amongst 9 of us, which will feel better than dispersed amongst 7.
Karen, you have any idea who the 2 people are?
I do. Yep. So one of them is Christopher. He ran for select board this past spring. His last name is
Thrasher.
Thrasher. Yes, Christopher Thrasher, and Michelle Orlando, who had been on the school committee previously. So both will be joining us in July. And Hugh, as we all know, is renewing with us again. So look forward to seeing you for another term, Hugh. So
I guess I don't learn from experience.
Oh, come on. There's no
Sucker
better
for
way to
punishment.
spend a Tuesday night.
Glutton for punishment.
all right. So now we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Just wait, before we do
Oh,
that, I'm
sure.
just gonna make note. On May the 4th, Karen sent around a spreadsheet with the use of the ARPA funds. So if you check your email from Karen, it was addressed to FinCom, dated May 5/4/23 with an attachment. And there's a spreadsheet there that shows what funds have been designated and by the select board and the amounts at the top. So just so that you have that. May 4th.
Thank you, Cindy.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Roll call.
Karen,
Yes.
you,
Hugh Morton, aye.
Gary,
Yes.
Cindy, aye. Buzzy,
Yes.
Zach,
Aye.
and Lawrence.
Aye.
All right.